assistance and support. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next is the updated water safety plan progress. Yeah, I'm going to have to go soon. It shouldn't take long. We've got 2 more items to go, so just... Yeah. I don't think... Have they put coffee outside? No. There
That'd be nice by now.
Yanni, there isn't. That... I don't know.
No, 5:30.
5:30. Okay, let's move on. I'll see if somebody from upstairs can come down and bring you a cup of coffee, if that would help. Sorry, would you like to? Who's going to introduce the updated water safety plan progress? John.
The purpose of the report is to update the council on the progress of the updated water safety plan and the earliest date that temporary chlorination can be removed. The water safety plan is on track to be submitted to the Ministry of Health for approval on the 30th of September. There have been 2 risk workshops to support the preparation of the safety plan and attended by City Council staff, City Care staff, the Drinking Water Assessor and the Medical Officer of Health at the first workshop. The purpose was to identify key risks, residual risks after mitigation, the level of certainty and the acceptability of risk after mitigation. Completed chapters of the safety plan have been sent to external peer reviewers from yesterday, the 9th, with feedback due on the 23rd of September. So that feedback won't be able to be incorporated into the council update due on the 24th of September. Once the safety plan is submitted to the Drinking Water Assessor, it will be reviewed by a panel of experts determined by the Ministry of Health, and the review could take up to 3 months. We will then need to update the safety plan to respond to comments received before it can be approved. Until the new water safety plan is approved, we must operate our water supply under the current water safety plan. This needs sign-off of wellheads as secure by both an expert and the Drinking Water Assessor. As the Drinking Water Assessor has been instructed not to accept any more wellhead security reports, we cannot remove chlorine until we have a new approved water safety plan. Note, however, that the chlorine level is set to 0.2 parts per million in these cases.
Pauline?
So the current water safety plan that we're operating under now is not very old. It's 2018.
Yeah, Mark.
That's right.
So why would the Drinking Water Assessor not sign off under the current water safety plan? Is there an obligation to do that?
The standards have changed.
No, but we're still operating under our current water safety plan, so
we're
we're allowed to.
We've agreed to update it
Yes,
to the new guidelines.
Yeah, but right now, while we're waiting for that upgrade, we're operating under the current...
We have contacted the Director General to ask that exact question.
Yeah.
That we haven't had a response yet.
How long have we been waiting?
That letter was sent yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
At
And
the request of the
we
council.
sent one last...
At the request of the, I think it was the Ethics Committee yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah.
Right.
I think it was, yeah, I'm not sure
No,
who
it was the council.
it was the
resolution.
council.
last
Yes.
week, so
Last
you've only
week.
actioned that.
Yes.
Right.
So the water safety plan that we have, the Drinking Water Assessor stopped signing things off with the explanation that she'd seen the Beyond Wellheads report.
No. She was instructed
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Yes. That. Well, didn't they say that? Didn't they use the Beyond Wellheads report?
No, that was a different letter. So there was a letter in June that came from the Drinking Water Assessor and the Medical Officer of Health. So it was jointly signed, and that referenced the Beyond Wellheads report, but indicated that the Ministry of Health had reacted to the provisions of it, and the
Beyond Wellheads
it contained, yes, and it contained a recommendation from the medical officer of health helped me out here in June. The medical officer of health recommended that we maintain chlorine in the water in the meantime, but he did not make that a requirement. And it did, the way the letter read was that it was very much the view of the Ministry of Health.
That they were concerned because they'd read the Beyond Wellheads and instructed the drinking water assessor not to sign anything off.
Well, I don't know that they'd instructed her at that point, but at some stage after that,
At some stage.
the Ministry of Health directed the local drinking water assessor to stop signing off on our wellheads.
That
Right.
was in June.
That was made clear at the last
Yes,
meeting.
yes, no problem with that.
Yeah.
So given that that was about the state of the infrastructure, or the reticulation network, and given that that is now, in our view, not regarded as a
That wasn't the only reason. I'm sorry, but it wasn't the only reason given in the letter. So,
In the letter, there were a number of reasons what they had some concerns, and there was a recommendation in there that we actually have a residual of 0.2 in the network. As you will remember, when we had problems with the wellheads, some were at 1 and some were at 0.5.
Yep.
But what we've done is where we haven't got the double sign-off, we have reduced it down to 0.2, which reflects their final recommendation, because we believe our independent experts said that we have got a secure wellhead. However, because of they've expressed some concerns, we've dropped it to 0.2 until they sign. We have in the meantime asked, is there any technical reason why you've told them not to sign off? Because if there was, we would then try and do that work. We don't believe there's any technical reason. Our independent assessor is pretty qualified in signing off these, and we've never had any problem in the past. But if there was some new reason, that's what we've asked that question for, and we're waiting a reply.
So will you, given that John just said we won't have the other information back by the 24th, will you have that reply back by the 24th?
We hope so, and we will follow that up so that
Right,
we can.
so you'll nab
and that's
a wee
where
bit.
we will try and get as much information as we can for the 24th to update you. While we're not expecting the peer reviews back to the 23rd, so I can't put that in a report, but we will maybe be able to give you a verbal update on what that peer review's telling us. But then there may be some work that's needed between the 23rd and the 30th of when we have to submit them. I think it's the 30th, isn't it?
30th, yes.
30th that we have to submit. So there may be some work in response, recognising we're getting 2 peer reviews, one New Zealand, an expert in New Zealand, and one expert from overseas.
Right. So it would be better to wait till the 24th when you have that explanation to look at whether there was a date when we just wanted to take the chlorine out, because there's no science to what is currently going on.
We will have a lot more information on the
Okay.
24th than we've
Okay.
got today.
Thank you.
Staff are working pretty
No,
thoroughly on this at
totally
this point in
appreciate that.
time.
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, I think, certainly the approach that I'd rather have is that we receive the report and then we wait till the next report for the kind of next stage in the process.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I also want to say to councillors that it's not impossible to call an extraordinary meeting after the 26th as well, if necessary. So if the draft water safety plan, because I feel like the water safety plan, the submission through to the Ministry of Health, that's kind of the drop dead date for us, and that's the date that I think that we should be aiming to sort of hold our head up high and say, we've done everything that we said that we would do. We're operating under the current standards. We've met the entire requirements that have been put on us, and we're not going to be told at this last minute by the Ministry of Health to stop a process that was agreed to. The last thing that I want to do is to create an illusion that will be accepted. So I also want to kind of continue to work with the officials of the Ministry of Health and our local people who have been excellent, I have to say, to work with. I want to continue to work with them, or to ensure that the teams are able to continue to work together so that we can actually achieve a good outcome for the city that we know will be enduring. Because that, I think, will be that'll be the approach that people will want. They'll want to see the chlorine out, but they will not want to see it brought back by direction.
And that's where I think the enduring, sustainable solution is what we are looking for in the long term. And certainly, like you say, the local support we're getting from the DHB and things is something that's really, really valuable as we work through all the issues that we've got on the table.
Yeah. Yanni?
Thanks. I just wanted to check in terms of timing, how long it would take if the drinking water assessor signed off the wellheads as being secure. How long would it take to remove the temporary chlorination?
30th of September.
We can turn the temporary chlorination off.
Oh.
It's a matter of a
Right.
switch.
Yeah.
However, we're not decommissioning the temporary chlorine. We're not removing the equipment, just in case we have any other issues. It's always going to be
Sure.
useful in the case of
A transgression.
some unforeseen. If we had another major earthquake,
just,
it might
but
be.
just so I'm clear,
Yeah.
like if we if
Yeah, a couple of days.
If council said, you know, on the 24th, actually no, we don't want to continue putting temporary chlorination in, and we want it off on the ones that we've done the work on, and we've got the UV treatment up and running, then you could do that within 2 days.
Physically, it could be done. We may seek advice on, depending on what direction you gave us.
Right. I just
Yes.
don't want us to be in a situation where we would be told, oh, it'll take several weeks now to sort of decommission or.
No.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, so I'll move that the report be received. Do I have a seconder? Pauline, I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried.